Hi, I'm Bob Keeshan. Welcome to CBS Storybreak. There have been many stories about humans helped by animals. For example, Tarzan of the Apes is about a boy raised by apes. And in the book Julie of the Wolves, a young Eskimo girl is rescued by a pack of wolves. Today we have just such a story. It's about a young boy raised by ducks. Based on Mordecai Gerstein's book, here is Arnold of the Ducks.
Most fairy tales begin once upon a time. But this isn't a fairy tale. This is a duck tale. And it started here. This is the story of Arnold of the Ducks. That's not Arnold there, that's his mother. And that's not Arnold either. That's a lazy sheepdog named Waldo. Now that's Arnold. We'll get to the part about the ducks a little later. In a way, it all started one day when the phone rang.
Hello. Oh, hi, Marge. She's out in the backyard with Arnold. Yeah, just a sec. Hey, Sally, Marge on the phone.
Coming. Waldo, keep an eye on Arnold.
So there was Arnold, just minding his own business, and along comes this pelican. Now, this was not a bright bird, and what's more, he was terribly nearsighted. He was out looking for food this day, and he mistook Arnold for a large yellow-crested tuna.
So tomorrow night, Marge, would you hold a second? The dog's barking and... Harry! Arnold's gone. He was in the wading pool.
Don't worry, he can't have gotten far.
Waldo, where's Arnold?
Look, I'm going to round up the neighbors, and we ought to call the police.
Waldo, did you see where Arnold went?
There was nothing in the sky, nothing but a silly pelican. Even if she had been able to understand Waldo, it wouldn't have mattered. She wouldn't have believed it. But this wasn't the end of Arnold. Oh, not by a long shot. In fact, it was just the beginning of the epic adventure of Arnold of the Ducks. Now, the pelican that had grabbed up Arnold was not one of your brighter pelicans. He still thought that what he had was a very large tuna fish. His first clue that something was wrong was that tuna fish rarely laugh. And they almost never say bye-bye. The pelican was so startled that he didn't see a rather large tree dead ahead until it was almost too late. So there was Arnold, and there went the pelican in search of a tuna that didn't laugh or say bye-bye. But at least Arnold was safe. Make that almost safe. Arnold was okay as long as he didn't run out of branches. Like that. As luck would have it, Arnold found himself right in the middle of a family of ducks. 4 curious ducklings wondering who and what this visitor from the sky was, and their mother, Mrs. Leda Duck by name, just returning with food for her 4 children. Make that 5 children. Now, in duck, that means whatever you are, get out of here. This is our nest, and I only have enough marsh grass for my 4 children. Well, at least she said something like that. Arnold didn't speak duck, but he got the hint. He wasn't wanted. Now, Leda was a mother duck, And there's something about all mothers everywhere, regardless of their species. They believe in taking care of children, even funny-looking pink ones without feathers. You see, Lita kind of looked at it this way. 4 hungry mouths, 5 hungry mouths, what's the difference? And so Arnold became an honorary duckling. To be honest, he wasn't too good at it. In fact, Arnold was one of the worst ducks Lita had ever seen. But Lita wasn't about to give up on him, especially when she heard danger.
Well, let's try over this way.
It was a search party looking for Arnold, but Lita didn't know that. And Arnold didn't get the chance to see or hear them. Lita hurried him off to the duck's favorite hiding place. You see, humans in the woods usually didn't mean anything good for ducks.
Now, I'll search over here, George.
But they didn't find him. They searched all day, and they didn't find a trace of Arnold. Not a trace. Finally, long after the sun had set, the search for Arnold was officially abandoned.
Now, we searched everywhere. We couldn't be in the woods anywheres. Now, the police have searched the whole neighborhood, every house.
But if he's not in the city, and he's not out here, where did he go?
Waldo had a hunch.
Whoa, Waldo. Arnold's not out there.
Where could a boy just disappear to?
Though his parents had to give up searching, they never gave up hoping. But at least for now, Arnold wasn't going home. But fortunately for him, he'd found a new home. And that, more or less, is how he became Arnold of the Ducks. But like we said earlier, Arnold wasn't particularly good at being a duck. Not at first, anyway. He wasn't too good at flying either. But if at first you don't succeed, try again. And again. And again. And again. Finally, Arnold did what any red-blooded young boy or duckling would do. He cried. Arnold had decided he just wasn't cut out to be a duck. But his new brothers had come to a conclusion. Arnold only really needed one thing. So they took him back to the tree where ducks were known to sleep, a tree filled with leftover feathers. Then they found some sticky stuff, and before long, Arnold looked, well, he looked a lot more like a duck than he did before. Arnold's new look was a hit. The question was, would it fly? That was how Arnold got his wings. In the years that followed, Arnold became the best flyer in the flock. He learned all about the dangers ducks face. Like avoiding things made by humans. Now Arnold was happy, and his brothers were happy. Lita Duck was happy, too. So was everyone happy? No, not quite everyone. Not in this house, anyway. Arnold's parents had tried not to think too much about their son. But it was hard.
Sally, we've both got to stop this. It's been 3 years now. Well, I miss him, too, but we've got our lives to live.
Do you think it's possible we might ever see him again?
Nothing's impossible.
Arnold's father was right. Nothing is impossible. Although this came very close. Now, every so often, Arnold would fly to the north edge of the forest, and there he would see strange creatures doing strange things. He had a strange desire to go be with them.
How are the burgers coming?
You like them raw? Great. Are you sure you don't want to send out for pizza? Don't get so excited, Waldo. It's only a duck.
Only a duck? If he only knew. By now, Arnold knew that those featherless creatures were human beings. What he didn't know was that he used to be one of them. He also didn't know what happens when a duck gets too close to a kite.
What's going on up there?
That duck, he got tangled in the kites.
Hopelessly tangled.
Oh, that poor little duck.
Yeah, Waldo, go see if he's alive.
He was alive, all right. Only he wasn't a poor little duck. To Waldo, he looked more like a poor little Arnold.
Here comes Waldo. And he's bringing the duck back.
Wait a minute. That's not a duck. That's...
Harry didn't believe it. And you couldn't really blame him. But it was.
That's our son.
It is.
Naturally, they had no idea what had happened. But the important thing was that Arnold was back with his family. And that was good news. Well, maybe not good news for everyone. Let us review. Arnold had suddenly and mysteriously dropped back into his folks' lives. They took him in where Sally plucked the feathers from him one by one.
Arnold, son, listen to me. I'm your father. This is your mother, and I'm your father. Do you understand that? Okay, so our son quacks. Fine.
I'm gonna get the rest of the feathers off him and give him a bath.
Our son quacks. Big deal. Nothing wrong with that. Lots of kids could quack. It's just a phase he's going through, that's all. So my son thinks he's a duck. Anything wrong with that?
Arnold, stop that! This is a bathtub.
Oh, hello, Harry. How's your son? You know, the one that quacks. Oh, he's all right, except that he wants to fly south for the winter.
He was trying to carry on a conversation with a rubber ducky.
Sure. Why not? Other fathers have sons who take after baseball players. My son takes after wildlife. Is that so strange?
Obviously, this would take some getting used to. In the weeks that followed, Arnold began to pick up